Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As usual, back with some stories concerning the Super Eagles of Nigeria right at this moment, especially with the transfer market wide open. We are seeing lots of players move from one club to another. We are seeing different clubs uh, getting very busy this transfer season, trying to improve their squad ahead of this new season. And one man that we have, continued to see his updates every single time you pick up your phone and you check uh, this sports journalist is Victor Osimhen. He is still in the news. Of course, we have like two clubs who are very interested in signing him. As you know, Galatasaray are trying to retain him. They're trying to get him back on a permanent basis after he had a really, really good spell with them on loan. But the issue right now seems to be the fact that Galatasaray are not able to meet the asking price from Napoli. Of course, Napoli set the price for Victor Osimhen for 75 million euros, and they are not exactly willing to back down or reduce this release clause, for these clubs. But on the other hand, Victor Osimhen, as at latest, like a couple hours ago, less than 2 hours ago, it was reported, even by Fabrizio Romano, that Osimhen has agreed a personal term. He has agreed club to player term. In terms of the salary, the wage structure, and things like that. The only problem right now is that Galatasaray are not tabling up to 75 million naira. The last bid that they did was 60 million pounds, which was also today, and that bid was rejected immediately by Napoli, who are not playing around. They've said it time and again that they cannot reduce even one penny from that 75 million euros. So that's where we're at right now with Osimhen deal. Of course, it's not just Galatasaray that are looking to get Osimhen. Al Hilal are still currently in the deal, or currently in the running to try and see if they can sign Victor Osimhen. Despite Osimhen rejecting them countless times, I think he had rejected them up to like 3 or 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. But it seems like every time he rejects them, they come back stronger with an improved bid, improved salary, to try and see if they can sway Osimhen and get him to sign. But um, the difference between Al Hilal and Galatasaray is that Galatasaray, they've as I said, they've agreed 16 million euros wages for Victor Osimhen per year, and Osimhen is happy with that. Based on the reports, he is going to sign a 3-year contract if Galatasaray are able to pay the 75 million euros to Napoli, which they've failed to do so lately. But for Al Hilal, they are well ready to pay Victor Osimhen more than 16 million pounds a year for salary, and then they also have the capability to meet the asking price of Napoli. But the big question here, or the big issue here, is that Osimhen would not favor a move to the Saudi Arabia just yet. He has said it before. He wants to still be in the best leagues, and then play, in the play in the best leagues. Of course, play in the Champions League, play in the Premiership, which is like his first priority. But it's very sad to think that no EPL club are really serious about getting Victor Osimhen. You know, and the latest now, Arsenal have now moved forward to sign Victor Gyökeres. So it just feels like all these top clubs are looking everywhere to get their players, except on the side of Victor Osimhen. They are not. They are looking away from Osimhen and getting other players around him, and it's just so frustrating to see Osimhen suffer in the transfer market like this. But again, we'll see what happens in the coming days. There've been a couple of transfers as well concerning other players as well. Chelsea have now decided to put up the likes of Ugochukwu Leslie and Kani Chukwuemeka among, or including other players that are surplus to requirement in their team. They have a whole lot of players. They have countless stars who don't even know their stand at this moment. Yet they are still signing players. We've seen, Pedro, João Pedro, and Gittins coming in the last 7 days. We've also seen them sign Liam Delap, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. and they are still in the market, actively even trying to buy more attackers. I'm hearing they are still, dragging with Tottenham or against Tottenham to sign Mohamed Kudus. But all of this, this activity, with Chelsea in the transfer market, leaves our players or potential Super Eagles players in a very disadvantaged position because, for example, the likes of Kane Chukwuemeka, he was sent on loan to Dortmund last season for him to have more regular game time, and then hopefully develop very well, come back at the end of the season, and maybe get a starting bet or maybe even get some minutes. So also was Leslie Ugochukwu sent to Southampton to get the experience, get game time, and then come back and try to break into the first team. But this didn't really work well for these guys. And we know the whole story. Leslie Ugochukwu's Southampton were actually relegated, and his performance wasn't exactly top notch. I think he was able to score only one goal and then created three assists in a lot of appearances that he made. He was a regular. He played up to 30 matches for Southampton. But then he comes back now, and then his future with Chelsea is looking very bleak. It's almost ended right now because you cannot expect him to uh, break into that Chelsea team that has Enzo Fernandez, that has Moises Caicedo, has Romeo Lavia, and now there's this new guy, Isigo, the Portuguese guy. So it's just been a lot of signings that are incoming in this Chelsea side, and obviously they would need to balance the books and sell a lot of their players. And unfortunately, Kane Chukwuemeka, Leslie Gochukwu are two guys who have now been thrown under the bus. And talking about the international future, this is definitely going to affect it because obviously you need to be playing games in your club side. You need to be having match minutes uh, to show your coach, to show national team coach that you have certain qualities, that would obviously tempt them to say, okay, they want to bring you in into the squad. But as it stands now, Chelsea is a closed door for them. But there might still be hope for these guys. Of course, I mean, it's even going to be better if they are being sold to another club where they can get uh, match time, instead of staying at Chelsea, stay in the bench, or go to loan again and then, just waste 1 year or something like that. So it's probably going to be best for them to go to a club that will give them playing time and then increase their chances of getting caught up by the national team. And speaking of that, Valencia are actually in the conversations as regards Leslie Ugochukwu. They've reportedly inquired from Chelsea about the availability of Leslie Ugochukwu. It's not just Leslie Ugochukwu, but they're also interested in getting another Super Eagles midfielder in the person of Frank Onyeka, who plays for Brentford City. So that is what's happening right now. Valencia are looking for a cheaper alternative for their midfield, and these two guys, Ugochukwu and Onyeka, are more or less going to be cheaper in the market because obviously uh, their clubs are trying to ship them out for reduced fee. They are not exactly in form because both players went on loan last season. For Frank Onyeka, he went to Augsburg in the German Bundesliga, and then did fantastically well. I thought he did really well, but again, coming back into this Brentford side, it's still a doubt if he's going to be able to break into that midfield. So this is why a move away from their clubs is going to do them more harm than good. But we'll see what happens, in the coming days. And then we had the likes of Ola Aina sign a 3-year contract extension with Nottingham Forest. He signed it this afternoon to extend his stay, at the club to 2028 summer. And this is definitely a good news, of course. Ola Aina will know the story. Last season, he was very, very impressive. He was, considered one of the best right backs, because of what he did last season. And to be given a 3-year contract is definitely something that I'm sure is deserved, and he's very, very happy about it. He said, I'm over the moon. I can't wait to continue this journey with the club. It's always felt like a home ever since I joined, and I'm happy to be here. Now my focus is on preparing for the new season well and getting back to hard work. So that was what he said after he signed that new 3 year contract extension. There have been lots of other stories concerning our players. Boniface, is also in the mix in terms of players that might be moving this season, and then a few others as well. Stay tuned to the channel. That's the update for this minute.